So normally when I try and rank my favorite books, it doesn't go well, okay? Either I just don't end up with an answer or I'm not satisfied with my results, but I finally managed to rank them in a way that I'm completely satisfied with. The way I narrowed it down, especially with my top 3 favorites, were how emotionally did it affect me and how affected I still am to this day. I feel like unless you're new to my channel, some of the placements are probably going to shock you, especially number 1, but I'm gonna give you my reasoning and you will see why number 1 is number 1. And with all that said, let's get to my favorite books of all time. Okay, coming in 10th place, we have A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. This is a series with 11 books in it, and when I tell you, this might be the most unique book series I've ever read in my entire life. They're hilarious and the writing is just so unique and the story is so unique too. So basically we follow the Baudelaire children, and each book they go to a different household or a different place. They are recently orphans. First book they get sent to Count Olaf's house. He is the antagonist of this series and he's trying to steal the Baudelaire's fortune, which they can't get to until they turn 18. These children are just the most unlucky people in the entire world. The back literally says, "Dear reader, I'm sorry to say that the book you are holding in your hands is extremely unpleasant." So if you haven't read these, you guys can kind of get the vibe of the book. Oh man, guys, these books are so good. They're so funny, they're so unique, and they're very emotional. And also, guys, there is a Netflix series. I don't know if you guys have already watched it or whatever, but the Netflix series is also really good. But I think the main thing that sells these books is the narrative. So it's narrated by Lemony Snicket, which is actually a character in this book, so that's not actually the author's real name, but it's basically written from that person's point of view. Yes, it is a very short book and it's like for children, but to be completely honest with you, I don't care how old you are, these books are so good no matter your age, and I feel like they will stand the test of time. Okay, that may be a bit dramatic, but I think they definitely deserve more recognition. I know they're like definitely known because they have a Netflix series and whatever, but like it's not as talked about, especially on YouTube. But if you're looking for a clean, super engaging, just amazing series to read, definitely read this. And I don't talk about it a lot on my videos, but that's not because I don't like it. It's actually just because my sister owns them, so I had to borrow this book for this video. But I would talk about it more. I would talk about it a lot more if I actually own them, just so you guys know. Okay, at number 9 we have the one, the only Heartless by Marissa Meyer. You know we had to get some fantasies on this list. I mean, most of them are fantasy. This has been one of my all-time favorite books ever since I read it in 2022. I have no idea how it's already been that many years. So this book is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. We follow Catherine, our main character, and it's basically just in this fantastical world, much like Alice in Wonderland. Kings, jesters, all that stuff. There is sort of, I wouldn't say it's a love triangle, but it's definitely not a love triangle. Is it? Let's just say the creepy king is in love with our main character and wants to marry her, basically just because she can bake really well. He loves sweet treats, so it's really creepy, but it's hilarious. Let's just say she falls in love with the court jester named Jest, and he's probably one of my favorite book boyfriends ever. It's very easy to fall for his charms in this book, let's just say. I wouldn't say fall for, but like basically throughout the book you're wondering, like, is the main character Catherine going to end up like the Queen of Hearts that we all know, or is the book gonna be a little bit different? Is it gonna end differently? I don't know. Like, read the book to find out. But it's so good and so funny, and the world is just so creative and fun. I believe this was the first book that I ever gave a 6-star, but yeah, I love fantasy, I love whimsical, so I just love this book. Okay guys, my 8th favorite book of all time is Bluebird, the only historical fiction on this list. Not because I don't like historical fictions, it's just one of the only ones I've read, but it's definitely a new favorite genre because of this book. This is a book that I genuinely feel like they should make people read for school because it has so much information about World War II. It still reads like a YA, so it's very easy to read and engaging, but it does cover some serious topics. I don't care if you don't like historical fiction, I still would recommend this book to you. I kind of went in that way too. I feel like most people that I've heard talk about this book say the same thing. They're like, I don't usually read historical fiction, but this was amazing. It's been a little over a year since I've read this book, I believe, and it definitely deserves to be on this list, even above Heartless, which has been one of my favorite books for like a very long time. So this is super good. like super good. Coming in at place number 7 is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Sharon Messenger. This series is just so nostalgic and so special, and every time I think about it, it's just like, ugh, those warm fuzzy feelings. I remember being absolutely entranced with these books, and like I had to get the next one. I don't know, it was just a really fun series to read, and I've heard of like some adults reading it and loving it too, so I'm just saying, I feel like there's something about this series. I think it's because the fantasy world is so cool. The abilities, the way the world works, it's just like it makes you want to live there yourself. And so going on these adventures with the characters in this world, it's almost like I wish I was there, but instead I'm gonna read about somebody else who is. But it's fine because I love the characters in here so much. That is why I placed this at number 7. The entire series is just amazing, and I'm still waiting on book, what is it? What even is it? Like book 10? I think it's book 10. I'm still waiting on book 10, but I'm just saying. Number 6 out of my top 10 favorite books ever, Howl's Moving Castle. I have spoken so many words about this book in my videos. It's actually absurd, but as a fantasy lover, this is just everything that I could possibly ask for. Number 1, it's clean. One of my requirements. Number 2, the fantasy world is on the whimsical side. I feel like there are different subcategories of fantasy. It's one of the funniest books I've ever read, and I realized I'm the type of person who's laughing at something that nobody else is laughing at, and it's extremely awkward because they're just like, and I'm like, but I feel like this is a book that a lot of people would hopefully find funny, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I think it's hilarious. The characters though, and the relationships, because there's a subplot of romance, guys. I think it's hilarious because the main character, Sophie, basically gets transformed into an old lady, and she goes on this quest to find the wizard Howl, who is very charismatic. He's also petulant, so he has a lot of character, and it's also not super long. And also these side characters, Michael, Calcifer, the Witch of the Waste, they all have their own dynamics and personalities, and it just pulls together so nicely. And that's why it's my 6th favorite book of all time. We're getting into the books where even when I just think about them, I'm like excited, and I just, I'm smiling. I can't stop it. We are now at the top 5. Also, you guys can leave your guesses down below as to what you think my favorite book is, because I'm very, very curious if any of you guys are going to get it right, because I know it's probably not what you think. I want to see if it really is just not apparent at all. So comment down below. I need to see your guesses. But before we get to that, let's talk about my 5th favorite book of all time ever, which is a series, and that is The One, The Only. I feel like this is one of the ones that I'm kind of known for. It is The One, The Only Legend by Marie Lu. Actually, in my opinion, each book gets better than last, so technically Champion right here would be my favorite out of these, but the entire series is my favorite. So this is a YA dystopian series, and I feel like with all the YA series, your favorite kind of comes down to just your preferences. It's not necessarily if maybe one's written better than the other, or some cases it is. I personally think this series is written really well, but at the same time,
the tropes, how it's written, the world, all kind of play into just my personal favorite things.
And I don't even want to think about the 3rd book because it made me so emotional. But at the same time, that's kind of one of the things I was ranking them off of, like I said, how much emotion accompany these books when I think of them. And a lot of emotion arises when I think of these books. However, not as much as my favorite book of all time. I'm trying to build suspense here. Like, is it working? Are you curious? I don't know. In place number 4, and I don't think I have to explain myself on this one, but in place number 4, we have Harry Potter, the entire series.
Again, I mean, I don't have to explain it. It's just one of the best book series ever. And yeah, so I'm still obsessed with this series.
We are now to the top 3, and this is where things get a little interesting. In place number 3 is Ranger's Apprentice by John Flanagan. Okay, so I know people probably thought this was my favorite book series of all time, but after much consideration, it's not. It's definitely extremely special because it's the book that got me into reading, and my channel name was quite literally Apprentice Ranger for up until a few months ago. So I love the series so much. I think it's super good, and I do have like a special place for it in my heart. But at the same time, there are 2 other books that I have decided to put above this because they just emotionally affected me more, and also I just think they're better books. I love this series so much, and that's why it's place number 3, but it's not quite number 1. Okay, so we are down to the top 2, so let's go ahead and talk about my 2nd favorite book of all time, which for once is actually just a book, it's not a series, and that is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Such a classic. I read this less than a year ago, and it immediately made its place not only on my favorites list, but like on my very top favorites list. There's just something about the characters and something about the plot. I know a lot of you guys agree with me, right? It's just so good. You guys have no idea how much I would love to see this on Broadway, and I just love it so much. I feel like I just switched it, but I was like hugging it. Okay. And now it's time for the moment that everyone has been waiting for. Unless you skipped here. If you skipped here, then hello. But either way, it must be revealed. It must be known. My favorite book of all time. This is actually a lot of people's favorite book series, and I completely agree. Not only the characters and the plot, but the way it affects you emotionally is unlike any other. And I actually watched the movies before I read the books, and they affected me more than any movie I've ever seen. I don't even know how to describe it, but like I just could not get the movie out of my head. And then a couple of years later, I read the books. I feel like you guys probably have guessed it by now just by my description, but my favorite book / book series ever of all time, drum roll please, is The Hunger Games. I don't know why I feel like I just revealed that I'm getting married. I finally have officially decided what my favorite book of all time is. So now when somebody asks me, I can finally just give them one answer. Anyways, I can explain because I know I don't talk about these a lot, but the only reason that I don't talk about them in my videos as much as the other books is because I don't own them. I read them on my Kindle several years ago. I have wanted to own them ever since, but like every time I look them up on Amazon,
They either weren't there or they were extremely expensive or something weird was going on. I think now they do have more versions, and it's like maybe it was just that period of time a few years ago.
they just like didn't have them on Amazon. So I was like, or they were really expensive, and I was like, surprise, that is my favorite book series ever. I need to buy them because like I need them. I need to talk to them. I need to talk about the books more, you know? Even over Ranger's Apprentice, even over the Legend trilogy, over Howl's Moving Castle, over The Outsiders, is The Hunger Games, in my opinion. And a lot of you guys I know agree. A lot of us, you know, can kind of just come together and agree that it is emotionally devastating, and that's one of the many things it has going for it. So those were my official top 10 favorite books of all time, ranked from least favorite to favorite. And I think I'm genuinely happy to say that The Hunger Games is my favorite book. I don't think I'm ever gonna read anything in my life that is going to beat it, and that's not a bad thing. Also, let me know down below what your favorite books are, and if you can, try and rank them. That's my challenge to you. I know it's hard, but try and do it, because I want to see if we have any similarities or if we genuinely have completely different favorite books. Also, I know I said my collab was coming out next, but it should be the next video coming out. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because you do not want to miss the collab. Thanks so much for watching. I feel like I have hair in my mouth. Thanks so much for watching again. I love you guys so much. Jesus loves you more. And I will see you guys in my future videos. Bye!